Here's your mini lecture for lesson 109. We're learning about hyperbolas. So hyperbola is exactly like an ellipse. Well, it's not exactly like one, but the equation looks exactly like it, except for ellipse has a plus sign, the hyperbola has a minus sign. You have x squared over a squared, y squared over b squared. Notice that the a is always going to be the bigger of the two numbers, and it's going to give you your major axis. If the a is underneath the x, then you have this, they go out to the sides like that. I like to remember it by, it's going to cross the x-axis. Actually, sometimes they get translated and it's not going to be on the x-axis, but it'll cross it. And then vertical, notice that the a squared's underneath the y, so that'll make it go up and down. Another way to tell them is just whatever is the positive of the two fractions. You know, like this one doesn't have a minus sign in front of it, so it's going to go out to the side. This one, the minus sign's in front of the x. The y is positive, so it's going to go up and down. Okay, there's your book writes c equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. I just say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's going to give you, that's going to help you find your focus, or your foci, your two little focus points. Okay, and eccentricity has to do with how round. Well, this isn't really going to be round, but how square the box is that you make, and that's once you've found out what C is, you go C over A. Okay, so like I said, C helps you find your foci, and those are always on the major axis. Your vertices are always on the major axis. Your asymptotes are these little diagonals that go through this box that we're going to draw when we make a hyperbola. So the best thing is for me to just show you how to do one, but I just want to kind of point out where you're going to forget the formulas, so you're going to need to look back at these. So this is the same exact thing we just talked about, except for, remember how we can do translations, x minus h, y minus k. So that means it got moved. Actually, that will move to the right. If I said x minus 2, it would move to the right by 2. See, that one looks like it got moved over. And then that would move it down, or, well, if I said y minus 2, that would actually move it up by 2. They're just like parabola or any other translated function that you've learned about. So notice there's a 1, there's always a 1 at the end of it, and there's always something squared over a squared, and a minus sign, and something squared over b squared, and there's always equal to 1. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to be able to do some problems. Right here it's telling you that you can go ahead and complete the square to get, if they give you something in general form, you can get it back into standard form by completing a square. So I'm probably going to do problems A, problem C, and problem E in either 1 or 2 videos, depending on how long each one takes. So I wrote down, there's A. So let's get this out of the way. There we go. So I'm supposed to do what? It says graph, identify the values of A, the value of B, the value of C, as well as the orientation. So we'll say, like, if it's horizontal or vertical. I need the eccentricity. Wow, I need everything. And the asymptotes. All of those. Do I have to graph it? Yes, I'm going to graph it. So the first thing I'll do, well, which number's bigger, 6 or 4? 6 is bigger, so that's A. And the other one's got to be 4. Now C, remember we said you can go a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a squared is 36, b squared is 16, 36 plus 16. That's 52, so c squared is 52, so c equals root 52. I wonder if I can kind of clean that up a little bit. Let's see. That actually turns out to be 2 root 13, or you could put it into a decimal if you wanted to. Your book put it into a decimal. Well, actually, they left it like this and put the decimal. The decimal is about 7.2. Okay, what's the orientation? Well, the bigger number, A, is underneath the X, so that means it's going to go out to the sides. So that's going to be a horizontal. So we got all these answers, right? We're answering all their questions. We're not going to skip any questions. What's E? E was, what did they say E was? B over A, or let's check. I'm checking in your book to see. Looking in the little blue box where it tells me. C over A. E equals C over A. So what was C? Ew. It was 2 root 13. What was A? It was 6. So if I cancel out the 2 and the 6, I can say root 13 over 3. And you can figure out what that is on your calculator if you want to. It's about 1.2. What are the asymptotes? I don't know. I want to graph it. So this one, it doesn't have x minus h and y minus k, so I know it's centered at the origin. So I just draw it like this. Here's x, here's y. I'm going to go to the right by 6 on the x-axis, left by 6, up by 4, down by 4. Get it? You just make a box. There we go. Okay, the box is not actually the graph. The box is just helping us to get a graph. Then you draw these diagonal lines that go through the corners of the box. They should also go through the center. Those are your asymptotes. So the graph, I know you can't tell colors apart on these videos, but the graph, I'm going to make it in blue. If you can tell, there's a vertex, or a vertex and another vertex. They're the vertices. And I can actually get the focus in there too. I should graph the focus. The focus is going to be on the same axis as the vertices. So, and the focus has to do with the letter C. It's the distance from the center to the focus is whatever C was. So we said C was 7.2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7.2. That's the focus. Okay. So that would be 7.2, comma 0, and I guess this will be a negative 7.2, comma 0. Okay, so those are the that's the focus, or the foci or foci. The asymptotes, their equations, it's going to be y equals plus or minus, what's the slope of this line? It goes up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes up 4 over 6, so that can be reduced to 2/3. So it's going to be plus or minus 2/3. B, like the y-intercept would be 0. Okay. So that's, I'm going to do 2 more letter problems for you, so tune in for the other 2 letter problems.